Dear friends, I'm Jacqueline. Abraham Lincoln once said, "We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses." Many times we see only the thorns but fail to see the roses. Often we see life in a limited perspective but fail to go out of the box, zoom out and see the positive. We let the negative thoughts rule our mind and fail to think and feel positive. Positive thinking is the master key that can help us to achieve anything in life. Let us now meet a few trainees and together do an exercise which will help us think different and change the impossible to possible.
Hi everyone.
Hi, sir.
I would like to begin this morning doing a small exercise with you. Now take a paper and do the exercise along with me. Let's have a look at the 9-dot puzzle. Draw 9 dots like this on a piece of paper. Now use 4 lines to connect these dots. Remember, you are not to take the pen off the paper and you cannot bend the lines. Were you able to connect the dots? Let's have a look at the results. Now, how many of you have completed the puzzle? Most often we tend to think traditionally. We are less creative and do not think out of the box. As a result, we stop growing as a mature person. We need to think differently. Unless and until we go outside the limit or beyond the dots, as seen in this exercise, we cannot succeed in connecting the 9 dots. Thank you, and I hope you all will start thinking differently.
Positive thinking has changed and transformed the lives of so many famous personalities whom you know. They have achieved their goal only because they had a positive attitude towards life. They thought, spoke, and lived differently. Rather, they set new trends.
Dhirubhai Ambani. Dhirubhai Ambani's life journey is reminiscent of the rags to riches story. He is remembered as the one who rewrote Indian corporate history and built a truly global corporate group. Dhirajlal Hirachand Ambani, widely known as Dhirubhai Ambani, was born on the 28th of December in 1932 at Chorwad, Gujarat. His father was a school teacher. Dhirubhai Ambani started his entrepreneurial career by selling bhajiyas to pilgrims in Mount Girnar over the weekends. After doing his matriculation at the age of 16, Dhirubhai moved to Aden in Yemen. He worked there as a gas station attendant and as a clerk in an oil company. He returned to India in 1958 with rupees 50,000 and set up a textile trading company. Assisted by his 2 sons, Mukesh and Anil, Dhirubhai Ambani built India's largest private sector company called Reliance India Limited from scratch. He is named the Indian Entrepreneur of 20th Century by the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. A poll conducted by the Times of India in 2000 voted him greatest creator of wealth in the century. His journey from rags to riches is a great lesson for positive thinking and hard work. APJ Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam, the famous Indian scientist and the 11th President of India, was only an average student, but he was hardworking and had a strong desire to learn. In his early age, he distributed newspapers to financially supplement his family income. He spent 4 years and graduated in physics, and later he realized that it was not of his interest. Then he studied aerospace engineering and graduated. The dean was dissatisfied with the lack of progress in Kalam's project. So Kalam worked hard and impressed the dean. However, he failed to reach his dearest dream of becoming a fighter pilot, as he bagged the 9th position when only 8 slots were available in the Indian Air Force. But he did not let this setback stop him. He moved forward and kept his hard work on. He did research and created many projects which turned out to be successful. Though he started his career by designing small helicopters for the Indian Army, he could gradually rise to a higher level and become the President of India. He was the 3rd President of India to have been honored with Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor. Certainly, he is a great icon for positive thinking. Sachin Tendulkar. Once upon a time, he was a self-conscious and timid player, but later he earned millions of fans worldwide who were eager to watch him play. Yes, I'm talking about the world's greatest cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar, who in his younger days was a bully and often picked up fights at school. His interest was in tennis until his brother introduced him to cricket to help him curb his mischievous and bullying tendencies. Sachin spent most of the time in coaching himself. At the age of 14, Sachin faced his first failure when he did not get the Mumbai Cricket Association's Best Junior Cricket Award. He faced a few refusals and failures, yet he kept moving forward with a positive attitude. A year later, 15-year-old Sachin played in the same first-class cricket tournament. That made him the youngest Indian to score a century. In the middle of 1999 Cricket World Cup, Sachin's father died. At that critical stage, he had to decide between the Zimbabwe match and his father's final rituals. He flew back to India to attend the final rituals of his father and returned back for the next match, scoring 140 runs, not out of 101 balls. He never broke down or gave way to discouragement, and that has made him grow higher and higher and become one of the greatest batsmen in the cricket history. Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa, born in Albania, came to India in 1921, leaving her mother and sister, and spent her entire life in helping the poor and needy. From 1931 to 1948, she taught at St. Mary's High School in Kolkata. The poverty and suffering she saw outside the convent walls made such a deep impression on her. She obtained permission from her superiors to leave the convent school and live among the poorest of the poor in the slums of Kolkata. Although she had no funds, she depended on divine providence and started an open-air school for the children. While trying to feed and help the poorest of the poor, she sacrificed her own food many times. She went from door to door and shop to shop, begging for money and food items in order to feed the poor and take care of the dying. She received very little support, but she never gave up her effort. Many people criticized and mocked at her work, but none of these stopped her from serving the poor. She had her first heart attack in 1983 but survived. She even had a fall and broke her collarbone. She suffered from various illnesses till her death in 1997. She is indeed an incredible person who always tried to see God in everyone, especially the poorest of the poor. It was her hard work and positive attitude that made her overcome all the challenges and hardships of life. She is the epitome of love. Rajinikanth. Rajinikanth is a celebrated actor of the South Indian film industry. Born on the 12th of December 1949, he hails from Bangalore in Karnataka. His childhood was spent in poverty, and he worked as a bus conductor prior to his film career. However, it was during this period that Rajinikanth sharpened his acting skill by participating in various theatre plays. In 1973, he joined the Madras Film Institute and attended a basic course in acting. Initially, while working in Tamil cinema, Rajinikanth was given supporting roles. The period from 1980 to 1989 was the real turning point in his career as it took him to dizzying heights. His new 3D movie Kochadayan is another example of his dauntless efforts and positive spirit. There is nothing that I consider impossible. I dream of it and achieve it, said the superstar in an interview. He affirms that he has never let discouragement take control of him at any moment of his life. This positive mindset helped him march towards success. A.R. Rahman. Born on the 6th of January in 1967, A.R. Rahman, with a career spanning just over a decade and a half, has already sold over 100 million records worldwide and more than 200 million cassettes. His father, R.K. Shekhar, who was a composer, arranger and conductor for Malayalam films, died when Rahman was just 9 years old, and his family rented out musical equipments as a source of income. A.R. Rahman's music career started scaling upwards from 1991 onwards, when he began his own studio and started making music for advertisements, television channels and so on. Rahman got his very first break into the Indian film industry when Mani Ratnam, a film director, offered him a chance to compose music for his Tamil film named Roja at mere 25,000 rupees. This turned out to be a hit movie, and then there was no looking back for A.R. Rahman. The focused mind, untiring efforts and optimistic attitude enabled Rahman to become a world-famous musician.
If all these people could achieve their goals, why not you? Indeed, they faced many ups and downs in their life, but they were not discouraged. They accepted the struggles and faced the challenges boldly because they had a positive dynamism that was gushing out of them. They faced life's problems and responded to such situations differently. Likewise, let us also think differently, go beyond the normal perspectives, and face life with boundless hope. Positive thinkers are happy people. They inspire others and become trendsetters. Winston Churchill said, "The positive thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible." Swami Vivekananda said, "Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached." So, my dear friends, break all the barriers of your life with a positive mind and reach your goals. All the best.